The first step is to go to qlabsconnect.com. This brings us to the login page, where you will enter your username and password. This information should have already been provided to you by an employee at QLabs. Once you have logged into the website, you will see this page. On the right side of the homepage is the news feed. This feed gives you important updates on when the company will be closed for holidays or other changes that might affect services available. To search for your samples, you will click either of these search buttons. From here, you're going to select the company you want to search for. You will only be able to see the companies you have been given access to. These are your filters that narrow the search results to find exactly what we're looking for. Entering a sample ID in the order ID field will narrow down the options and help you find a specific sample quicker. Once you find the sample number you're looking for, go ahead and click on it. Another way to find your sample is by entering the date range. These dates correspond with the date that QLabs received the sample, not when the sample was sent or submitted. After entering a date range, the order ID field will narrow down your options, showing you which samples were received during that range. Once you've selected the order ID, you will need to click the View button on the right side of the search results screen. This will take you to the order ID preview for that order. This preview page allows you to see some of your sample information, including sample identification, the testing lab, the analyses that were requested, and any published records associated with the sample. You can also preview reports on this page. Clicking on the report you want to view opens a PDF of the report. This PDF can be saved or printed from this screen. To begin submitting samples, click either the Create Request or Request buttons on the home page. This will take you to the Create Request page. To start, select your company's name from the drop-down list. Then, select the correct contact's name and the associated information will autofill below. The only remaining required field is the drug versus non-drug distinction. There are a few optional fields where you can enter additional information as needed. If your company uses PO numbers, enter that information into the PO field. Any text entered in this field will also appear on your invoice. The Special Instructions field allows you to notify the lab of any additional information you feel is important. For example, the need to rush a sample, confirmation steps that should be taken, if a sample needs to be returned, etc. If you need to order supplies, select the Yes for that option and enter which supplies and how many you need in the associated field. If your samples were submitted in a cooler and you would like the cooler shipped back to you, please select Yes next to that option. Start by clicking the Add New Request button. You will then fill out each of the fields that dropped down. Client Sample ID is required. This is where you will enter your sample identifier. This will be displayed on the report. Department is required. This drop-down list determines which lab will test the sample. You will only see labs that you typically send samples to on the list. If the sample needs testing in more than one lab, like both chemistry and microbiology, you'll need to submit 2 separate requests, one for the microbiology tests and one for the chemistry tests. Sample type is required. This drop-down list lets you select what kind of sample you're submitting, like a sponge, swab, water, liquid, etc. Copy existing list is optional. This feature is discussed later in the video. Once you have filled out the required forms, click Add. Next, you will add the tests that will be performed on your sample. Click the Add New Test button underneath your sample information. 3 new fields will appear. Test is required. Select from a custom drop-down list of tests your company typically requests. If a needed test is not listed, please contact Q Laboratories at resultpoint@qlaboratories.com. Method is required. This field will automatically be populated after you select a test. Most of our tests only have one method, which means you do not have to change this field. The following test types have more than one method, and the correct method must be chosen when selecting these tests. Any Vitis tests, sample size is contained in the method. Any tempo tests, sample size is contained in the method. And single elements, choice between ICP-MS and ICP-OES. Client specs is required. If you have specifications that you want listed on the report, this is where they should be entered. If none, enter report only. Once you have entered all your test information, click the green Add button. To add additional tests, just repeat the steps listed above. To create additional samples, you should repeat the steps listed in this section. To start, build the first sample in your series. Once your first sample has been built, click the Open Copy Sample button on the left side of the screen. There will be a pop-up menu that appears, and you'll select the sample you want to copy in the sample field. Next, you'll enter the number of copies you want to make in the quantity field. You should always check the Copy Sample Type and Copy Tests options. Copy Client Sample ID and Copy Client Specs are optional. We recommend selecting all 4 boxes when copying samples. Click the Copy Sample button at the bottom. As soon as you do, your copied samples will appear in the sample information section of the page. Make any changes needed to your sample identifiers, and then you're ready for the final steps. At the very bottom of the Create Request page, click the Review Request button on the right. You will be taken to the Review Request page and presented with a sample submission form. This stage is designed to allow you to confirm that everything in your submission is correct. If you do see an error, click the Back button on the bottom left of the page. This will take you back to the Create Request page where you can edit your information. Assuming everything looks good, you are ready to submit. You can print or save the sample submission form using the buttons at the top of the form. To submit your request, you must click the Submit Request button on the bottom right of the Review Request page. After submitting your request, you will be taken to the final page. You will see 2 pop-ups appear at the top of the final page that will tell you if you are successful in submitting your request. If you do not get these notifications, you have not successfully submitted your request. You can also print or save the sample submission form from this screen as well. You need to print at least 1 copy of the form to submit with your samples. We recommend that you save a copy of your submission for your records as well. There is no way to navigate back to this page after you leave it. You're done! You've submitted your sample request to Q Laboratories. We'll receive the information almost immediately, which will help us process your samples quickly upon receipt. As you are going through the steps outlined in the previous section, you may need to make a change to the sample information entered. To edit the client sample ID or sample type, click the small pencil icon to the left of the sample you are changing. A new row will appear underneath the original sample information. Here you can edit one or both fields. After you have finished making changes, click the Update button on the right. If you enter edit mode on accident, click the Cancel button. To edit a method or client specs, click the small pencil icon to the left of the test that is being changed. A new row will appear underneath the original test information. Here you can edit one or both fields. The method field is a drop-down list, but most tests only have one method option. After you have finished making changes, click the Update button on the right. There are 2 pieces of information that cannot be changed: department and test. If the department or test assigned to a sample is incorrect, you will have to either delete the sample or the assigned test. To delete a sample or test, click the small red X to the right of the sample or test you desire to remove. A browser notification will appear asking you to confirm you want to delete the sample or test. If you still wish to do so, click OK. Result Point gives the user the ability to create templates that can be used to quickly submit a set of samples without having to build the submission from scratch. Each account has a maximum of 200 templates. Each template must have a unique name. This section outlines how to create, save, load, change, and delete submission templates. Once you have the submission request exactly the way you want it, click the Save Template button at the bottom left of the Create Request page. The Save Request Template pop-up menu will appear. Enter a name for your template and click the Save Template button at the bottom of the pop-up. Now your template will be available from the Template Management menu on the left side of the screen. Go to the Template Management menu on the left side of the screen. Click the field under Select Template and you will see a drop-down list containing any templates you have previously created. Select the template you wish to load, then click the Load Template button. To delete a template, select the template you want to delete from the Template Management menu, then click the Delete Template button. If you are experiencing any errors that you don't see in this section, please contact ResultPoint at qlaboratories.com with a screenshot or description of the error, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Make sure that you have checked either yes or no when asked if the submitted samples are regulated drug products or raw materials in drug products. Exceeding a character limit in fields will result in a blank sample submission form in the review request page. The most common fields with too many characters is the specifications and special instructions. There is a character limit of 250. The submission form will show up blank like the example shown. If a test is forgotten, you'll see the error message at the top of the screen. To fix this, select the Add New Test button underneath the requested sample. Select your desired test, method, and specs. If you are adding a test and do not add any client specs, the error message pictured below will appear at the top of your screen. If you do not have any specs, enter Report Only. To fix this error, head down to the Sample Information section. Click the pencil icon to edit the test that currently does not have a client spec. Enter your specs or enter Report Only. ResultPoint has a built-in timeout feature when left idle for 5 minutes or longer. We recommend getting in the habit of utilizing the Save Current Session button if you are going to keep the portal open for a long period of time. Thank you for following along with us at Q Labs. If you have any further questions or would like further training on how to navigate your portal, please contact us at resultpoint@qlaboratories.com or 513-471-1300. Thank you.